Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today you are joining me what may be the final drive in my Audi A7. I've had this car for about 18 months, but I've been in an Audi A7 for almost 2.5 years. Some regular viewers of the channel will recall that I actually owned a C8 A7 in the firmament blue color, and then this was my second A7 back to back. But this morning I've sold this car and I'm going on the final drive. But I have got something special coming, and I'm going to be going over to the dealership this morning just to go and see if the car is ready. This is my final journey in the Audi A7, and like I said before, I've had a couple of these cars back to back. Now the reason why I'm coming out of the Audi A7 is because of my kind of needs of motoring, and one of the reasons is I'd probably say 90% of the time is just me like driving, commuting to work and social and all of that stuff, and it's quite a big car that I'm actually driving for like a single person essentially. And although it's really comfortable, like, you know, these Volcano leather seats are just absolutely amazing, and the driving position and all of that, and I never feel like I'm tired at the end of like giving that long journey on like a long road trip or anything like that. It just feels like it's just any other kind of like long distance cruiser, but it does it really well. I'm looking for something that's gonna, you know, be a little bit more fun to drive, you know, that's got a little bit more poke and just gives me that little bit more excitement, and that's exactly what I'm trying to achieve with my next car, and I'm hopeful that I've actually ticked that box once again. Been a few days since I've taken delivery of this thing, and honestly I am just so glad that I've actually got this thing, and it is in fact a BMW M4 competition. Let's go and have a look at this car right now. The BMW M4 in competition form, and it's finished off in the individual San Marino blue. In my opinion, one of the best looking colors on this car in competition form. Now I'm going to go over the kind of spec talk on this car. Being a competition, it comes with the 20-inch 666M alloy wheels. It's got all the black accents like on the side markers and on the front as well with the grills. It obviously has the double bubble carbon roof, and this is a 2020 model year car, which basically means that there are a few subtle differences, namely the rear lights. They're a little bit more smoked around the edges. It's quite a very small difference on this car compared to, let's say, a 2018 or a 2019 model year car, because they're usually a little bit more red. This car is essentially a stock M4 competition. There's literally no modifications to this car. It's pretty much like a blank canvas for me as well, so I can probably add up my own little touches, but honestly it just looks so nice in that color. And I can just already kind of see, like, you know, with a few carbon pieces on this car, is going to just look absolutely amazing. If we move into the interior, it's raining out here, so it'd be nice to kind of sit inside. So now that we're away from the rain and sitting inside the car, I'll quickly talk to you guys about the spec of my M4, starting with the inside. Here we have some carbon fiber inlays on the dash and the center console. This one's fitted with the DCT 7-speed gearbox, exactly how I'd expect my M4s to come with, and it's got the analog dials. All M cars going forwards now have got like a digitalized kind of a cockpit, but this becomes more classic now. This is also fitted with like the head-up display, and we also have the Harman Kardon sound system. I think most M4s would normally now come with like this kind of spec. My previous one didn't have any of this. I call that the super leggera kind of spec because it didn't have any of these kind of like gizmos, but essentially this has got everything like you'd expect it to have. It's got a reversing camera as well, and I'm really excited that I was able to take advantage of a deal that came my way on an M4, and I'm back in one. When I came out of my last M4 about 18 months ago, which I had for about 4 years, I was quite sad. It was quite a sad day because that car I really, like, you know, gelled with, and I knew like I was going to get myself another M4 as soon as one sort of came available, and the circumstances changed, and I'm so happy that that has now happened for me. Obviously, being an M4 competition, you do get these kind of like nice looking sport seats as well, with like, say, the cutouts here. If you got passengers in the back, they can probably tickle you from there, but I just love the way these are like just a standard feature in like an M4. And I think what I also like is the fact that being an M4, it's actually a usable coupe, because if you look at, like, say, the legroom in the back there, it's quite decent. And I've had some people in the back of this car when I've, like, you know, kind of gone on a road trip. Well, not in this one, in my last one, and it kind of just made sense for me to go and get another M4 of this type of year. In my humble opinion, the F82 for me is like the sweet spot for, like, say, the M4. This car, you really do feel connected when you're driving it. The G82 is a fantastic car, and I did even consider getting into one of those as well at the time, and I was kind of thinking, okay, getting into a G82 is going to feel phenomenal. It's like a fantastic car. You can just get in and drive. But I think with the F82, what I thought was that it's a bit more of a, let's call it a driver's car, because you have to really drive this car, and you do feel really connected with it, you know, especially with like the double clutch gearbox in this. It just feels, in my opinion, it feels a bit more race car. Now, if you guys have got a G82 out there, please don't hate on me, because I have driven one of those and I do think they are quite phenomenal. But for me, my sweet spot is the F82, which is why I ended up getting another one of these. So another thing that I was really like worried about getting into a 2020 car and being an M4 is that it's not going to sound as good. My previous one was a 2017, and you know, there were no OPF filters in that, whereas with this one they are. But I am actually quite surprised how this actually sounds. Of course, being a competition pack, maybe that's got something to do with it, but I was actually surprised how good this sounds, and I'm going to give it a start up and some revs, and you can then leave a comment in the comment section below to tell me what you think about the sound on this car. So now I'm going to talk to you guys about the engine of this car, and this being the competition pack, this has 450 horsepower and 550 newton meters of torque. Compare that to like a non-competition car that has 430 horsepower and the same amount of torque as well. So guys, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give the car a start up and some revs, so you guys can decide for yourselves and let me know as well how you think that this car sounds. Bear in mind, this is a 2020 car, it's got OPFs in there, and it still sounds like this. guys, let me know what you think of the way this car sounds. It's got OPFs in there. My opinion, this sounds better than the current G82 and the G80 M3 M4s. So guys, I'm going to end the video here. I hope that you have enjoyed today's content. Let me know what you think of my new car. I'm not going to go out for that drive today because of, like, say, the road conditions and how wet they're going to be, and I'm just not going to enjoy driving it today on those country lanes. So that will hopefully come up on the next vid. But until then guys, stay safe and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.